Welcome to Lexington's Stormwater Management 101 presentation. This presentation cannot possibly touch on everything we do in the stormwater world, but we do think it will provide a fairly comprehensive overview and hopefully drum up some enthusiasm in what we feel is a very successful and ever-growing program. So we will be discussing what stormwater is, what Lexington is currently doing, and what we will need to continue doing. Stormwater runoff is generated from rain and snowmelt events that flow over land or impervious surfaces such as paved streets, parking lots, and building rooftops, and does not soak into the ground. So how does stormwater transport pollutants? Stormwater that cannot soak into the ground becomes runoff. Unlike natural areas like forests and meadows, impervious surfaces prevent infiltration. As stormwater flows across these surfaces, it picks up pollutants, transporting them to storm drains, drainage ditches, or other methods of conveyance, eventually reaching receiving water bodies such as streams, rivers, and lakes. The first photo shows an outfall that has an absurd amount of litter and trash coming out of it. The second photo shows oil, most likely from a vehicle, flowing with the stormwater runoff into a catch basin, which eventually goes untreated and ends up in water bodies. Lexington's stormwater system collects, conveys, and sometimes treats stormwater runoff with catch basins, manholes, swales, drainage pipes and culverts, and stormwater control measures. Lexington's stormwater system is separate from the sanitary sewer collection system, and it is important to note that it does not go to a treatment plant. Our system is comprised of 5,912 catch basins, 2,311 manholes, 136 culverts, 136 miles of pipe, and 388 outfalls. We will be discussing outfalls throughout the presentation and wanted to be sure you all know what those are. They are essentially the exit point where stormwater leaves the formalized drainage network and daylights into a receiving water body. Flooding and climate, aging infrastructure, regulatory needs, clean water goals, and land use are the main reasons stormwater management matters in Lexington. We're experiencing more intense rainfall and flooding, while much of our stormwater infrastructure is aging and wasn't designed for today's conditions. We also have regulatory requirements, clean water goals, and volume and rate regulations that help protect our streams, ponds, and neighborhoods. Finally, land use and development affect how stormwater moves through town, increasing the need for proactive planning and maintenance. Flooding is already a real issue in Lexington. About 2.5% of the town's land area is at risk for flooding, affecting over 260 structures and 35 critical facilities per the 2019 Hazardous Mitigation Plan, which is currently in the process of being updated. As rainfall becomes more intense with climate change, these risks are expected to increase, which is why proactive stormwater management is so important. Much of Lexington's stormwater infrastructure is aging and in many cases was built decades ago. Pipes, culverts, and catch basins can deteriorate, clog, or fail over time if they are not regularly inspected and maintained. Ongoing operation and maintenance help these systems function as intended, reduces flooding and roadway damage, and allows the town to address small issues before they turn into costly emergency repairs. More than 60% of the nation's stormwater utilities cited aging infrastructure and workforce needs as critical challenges. The ASCE countrywide system rating is a D. Lexington has various asset management plans that help to inform our capital outlay. Stormwater is regulated under the Federal Clean Water Act because rain and snowmelt can pick up pollutants as they flow across streets, lawns, and construction sites before entering our streams and ponds. The EPA regulates stormwater discharges from municipal storm sewer systems like Lexington's, as well as from construction and industrial activities. These requirements help ensure that stormwater management protects water quality, public health, and the clean waterways our community values. We are currently in year 8 of the most recently issued MS4 permit. A draft of an updated permit has been developed and commented on, but has not yet been issued. Land use plays a major role in how stormwater moves through Lexington. Over time, development has increased the amount of impervious surfaces like roads, roofs, and parking lots, which prevent rain from soaking into the ground. As a result, more stormwater runs off into the street, storm drains, and waterways, increasing flood risk and putting added strain on our stormwater infrastructure. Comparing Lexington in 1969 to today shows significant changes in land use. This directly affects stormwater management needs in both water quantity and water quality. How we build affects how water flows. Effective stormwater management keeps our community safe, healthy, and resilient. It protects residents and ensures emergency vehicles can navigate during storms, preserves the town's roads, culverts, and drainage systems to avoid costly repairs, and safeguards streams, ponds, and wildlife from pollution. By proactively managing stormwater, Lexington meets regulatory requirements, supports long-term infrastructure planning, and protects property values while controlling costs for taxpayers. Investing in stormwater is an investment in the safety, environment, and future of our town. Lexington is committed to protecting both human and environmental health. Proper stormwater management keeps our neighborhoods safe by reducing flooding and preventing exposure to pollutants in our streams and ponds. At the same time, it protects our natural areas, wetlands, ponds, and streams by keeping water clean and supporting healthy wildlife. This work ensures that our outdoor spaces are safe and enjoyable for everyone, while also preventing costly damage and long-term risks to our community. In short, a healthy environment here in Lexington means a healthier, safer town for all of us. Clean water is critical to a healthy economy. It generates billions of dollars nationwide. $230 billion per year in boating recreation, $427 billion per year in coastal tourism, and $115 billion per year in recreational fishing. So how is Lexington addressing the challenges of water quality, flooding, aging infrastructure, and land use? This diagram highlights the key areas where the town's efforts overlap. You can see overlap in numerous areas. For example, when working through a flooding problem, there are commonly opportunities to improve water quality and replace aging infrastructure. Over the next few slides, we'll walk through what Lexington is doing today and how these actions work together. This project in the Oxbow and Constitution neighborhood is a great example of green infrastructure in action. This area experienced frequent flooding that affected both roadways and nearby homes, largely because an old, undersized drainage pipe could no longer handle heavy rain events. Rather than replacing it with a larger underground pipe, Lexington chose a nature-based solution. The town daylighted the stream and restored adjacent wetlands, allowing stormwater to slow down, spread out, and absorb naturally. This project was identified as a priority through town-wide stormwater planning and reflects Lexington's commitment to sustainable infrastructure and climate resilience. You'll also notice the vegetated retaining wall, vegetated with live willow branches that root and develop into the wall. This provides the necessary structural support while blending it into the landscape. Over time, the vegetation helps stabilize the slope, reduce erosion, and improve stormwater absorption, making it a more environmentally friendly alternative to traditional hard infrastructure. Infiltration trenches are a type of stormwater retrofit that helps manage runoff right where it falls. They're made up of a perforated pipe surrounded by stone, which collects stormwater and allows it to soak into the ground through highly permeable soils. As water moves through the trench, pollutants picked up from roads and other paved surfaces are filtered out by the soil. Instead of being carried through pipes and discharged directly into nearby streams, the water is absorbed naturally. So far, Lexington has installed 25 infiltration trenches in the Mystic River watershed and 4 in the Charles River watershed, helping reduce flooding and improve water quality across town. These trenches are also very efficient at removing phosphorus, and we often install these in advance of paving a roadway to increase our phosphorus removal in an area. To date, we have several dozen of these installed throughout the town. Lexington owns and maintains more than 100 culverts that carry streams and stormwater under roads. When these structures fail, they can cause flooding, road closures, and costly emergency repairs, so keeping them in good condition is critical for public safety. To stay ahead of these issues, the town assessed its culverts and developed an asset management plan to identify which ones need attention first. This is done using a risk of failure versus cost of failure analysis. One of those prioritized is a culvert beneath Grove Street, a busy roadway near I-95. While it's still functioning, a failure would have major impacts on traffic and access. Instead of fully replacing the culvert, which would mean long road closures, the town is lining the existing pipe. This approach extends the life of the culvert, costs significantly less, and minimizes disruption to residents. Construction will begin later this season. We also replace culverts when needed, and several have been replaced over the last 15 years. Replacements include improvements in openness, natural bottoms, and increasing of the bank full width. Illicit discharges are anything entering the stormwater system that isn't rainwater. That can include things like chemicals, wastewater, or trash, and these materials can end up flowing directly into our streams and ponds untreated. To prevent this, Lexington runs an Illicit Discharge Detection and Elimination, or IDDE, program. During dry and wet weather, the town inspects stormwater outfalls to make sure only clean water is flowing through the system. Dry weather inspections are important because they help identify pollution sources that shouldn't be there. Much of this work is done with the help of our college and summer interns through the Stream Team program. These students conduct field inspections, gain hands-on experience, and play a key role in protecting local water quality. The program has even been recognized with a Stormy Award for its success. When we find an illicit discharge, then the detection piece comes into play. The key tools for detection are dye testing and CCTV. For a dye test, the dye is dropped in an upstream point, which could be a manhole or an internal fixture like a toilet or a sink. Once dropped, observations are done for the dye, and if it shows up in the stormwater network, we then know we have an illicit and found the source that needs to be eliminated. CCTV within the drain lines can also help to pinpoint illicits, and we utilize both those tools. To date, we have found and removed 13 illicit discharges. Not all stormwater solutions involve construction. Lexington also relies on non-structural controls like street sweeping and catch basin maintenance to keep water flowing and pollutants out of our waterways. These are referred to as best management practices, or BMPs. Street sweeping helps remove leaves, sediment, and debris that can clog storm drains and contribute to flooding and water quality issues. The town sweeps all streets once in the spring and twice in the fall, with main roads swept regularly during the summer and downtown areas receiving more frequent attention. This work is done using specialized street sweepers designed to pick up fine material that would otherwise wash into streams. Lexington also maintains approximately 5,900 catch basins across the road network. Crews use specialized equipment, including Vector jet trucks, to inspect and clean catch basins and will clean some locations more frequently if they collect a lot of debris. The goal is to keep catch basins functioning properly by preventing them from becoming too full. The target is no greater than 50% full. Because this work is labor intensive and staffing is limited, resident involvement makes a big difference. Residents are encouraged to clear debris from catch basins near their homes, especially after storms or snow melt. The town also offers an Adopt a Drain program where volunteers help monitor and clear storm drains. This community effort helps extend the impact of our maintenance work, and we'll talk more about that program shortly. Salt and chloride are important for winter safety, but they're also pollutants of concern. When snow and ice melt, salt can wash into storm drains, streams, and reservoirs. Elevated chloride levels can harm aquatic life and impact water quality, including drinking water sources. Some communities that are not influenced by the ocean are experiencing brackish waters and saltwater plant life due to the excessive salt use. Lexington's DPW works to reduce chloride use while still keeping roads safe. The town uses enhanced brine application systems that apply liquid brine more efficiently to the pavement. This improves effectiveness and allows crews to use less salt overall. Lexington also carefully tracks where and how much material is applied, reviews plowing routes each year, and reports these efforts through the town's stormwater program. Salt and de-icing materials are also stored away from storm drains to prevent spills and reaching waterways. Residents play an important role as well. Shoveling early helps reduce the amount of salt needed. Using salt sparingly on driveways and sidewalks makes a difference, and keeping snow piles away from storm drains helps prevent concentrated chloride runoff. Together, these actions help protect water quality while keeping the community safe in the winter. Education and outreach are a key part of Lexington's stormwater program. Protecting water quality isn't something the town can do alone. It works best when residents, businesses, and community groups are involved and informed. The town shares information through brochures, fact sheets, and online resources about everyday actions that affect stormwater, like pet waste, lawn care, chloride use, and proper snow and ice practices. These materials help residents understand how small choices can make a big difference. Programs like Adopt a Drain give residents a hands-on way to help by clearing debris from storm drains before it reaches local waterways. This directly supports water quality and helps meet stormwater permit requirements. Lexington also hosts workshops and community events, including DPW Day and outreach at the farmers market, where staff share information, demonstrate stormwater practices, and engage residents of all ages. We even bring out hands-on tools like a small-scale infiltration trench model to make these concepts easier to understand. Finally, the town's website and social media provide easy access to stormwater information, maps, and reporting tools, making it simple for residents to stay informed and get involved. Lexington will need to keep finding and implementing ways to reduce phosphorus in stormwater runoff. This includes funding and constructing structural stormwater control measures, as well as enhancing non-structural controls, such as street sweeping, leaf litter collection, and catch basin cleaning. We'll also focus on removing or disconnecting existing impervious surfaces where possible. Ongoing inspection, maintenance, and replacement of aging infrastructure will remain a priority. We'll continue tracking the operation and maintenance of both public and private SCMs and provide residents with education and outreach materials to encourage community involvement. All of these efforts support our long-term goal, meeting the nutrient reduction targets required by the EPA. Through smart stormwater management and community action, Lexington is reducing phosphorus and protecting our water bodies. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us or send us an email.